You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
And on our Training Thursday edition, I want to teach you how to get better results by keeping your workout simpler. I want to also explain what that means, because sometimes when you give a headline like that or a kind of a main slogan like that, people are like, okay, well, I'll keep my workout simple and I'll just do the same exact thing every day. It's not about that. But what I see now, what I kind of see in our overall culture, and this is kind of expanding around the world, not just in the US, not just in Europe, is that the more complicated people can make their workouts, they think that the more they're going to get out of them. And that's simply not the truth. If you are standing on a stability ball while doing bicep curls, that does not mean you're going to get more out of it from doing a standing bicep curl. The ball itself is not going to give you more benefit. It's actually just going to put you at greater risk of injury. And the same thing goes with trying to stack 5 exercises together. I see this all the time, and they're doing 100 reps of each. Like, that's a fancy program. Someone was literally just talking about it in the gym, and they were saying, oh, there's this new workout. What you do is you run for a mile, and then you do 100 pull-ups. You just take as many sets as you can, and then you go and you run for another mile, and then you do 100 push-ups, and then you run for another mile, and you do 100 sit-ups, and then you run for another mile, and then you do 100 of whatever. Like, literally, this is what it is. It's 4 miles of running with 4 exercises times 100. Like, someone just randomly made that up. That makes absolutely no sense. That's a terrible workout, and it's just meant to be a hard workout. But you know what? You do 100 of anything, and that's a hard workout. Like, this is not a genius level workout. No good personal trainer, physical therapist, athletic trainer, certified strength and conditioning specialist would ever give that to anybody. That's some like marketing-based online personal trainer, something like making something like that up, or something you're doing just to kind of like make it harder than a CrossFit workout or harder than whatever. That doesn't make it a good workout. It doesn't. It doesn't at all. It actually is a terrible workout. And the reason is you're doing 100 reps of one specific thing, and people don't get injuries from doing 10 reps of something. They get injuries from repetitive motion damage. Repetitive motion means you're doing the same thing over and over and over. Golfer's elbow, tennis elbow. Why does that happen? Well, at the driving range, you're literally swinging your club 100 to 150 times minimum in one direction, doing the same thing over and over. It's not balanced. With tennis, you're literally, you play for an hour and you're hitting that ball maybe 1,000 times. So many different times. When you go for a run and it's an hour-long run, how many times are you foot striking? 10,000? And so you have to look at it, maybe more. And you just have to understand that more is not better. Crazy workouts where you're just doing kip-ups and all of these things that are not good for your rotator cuffs and shoulders and lower back, they're not better. How the human body works is this. Your upper body can really only do 3 things. It's going to be able to press, and that means a chest press or shoulder press. It's going to be able to pull things, and that's a row or a pull up. And it's going to be able to rotate, and that means like a chop, something like with your obliques where you move side to side and you twist your body. That's what it does. Like, those are the 3 things. And for your lower body, it's going to push, meaning like a squat, or it's going to pull, as in like a Romanian deadlift. And that's basically it. There's a couple extra things it can do, but those are the only movements. It pushes and pulls and it rotates. That's how the human body works. It's called the sagittal plane, the frontal plane, and the transverse plane. And that's it. You move forward and back, side to side, and then you rotate. That's how the body works. Now, we can now develop more advanced programs, obviously knowing those principles. But you also have to understand the body has to stay balanced. You can't do all pressing exercises and not expect to have some type of rotator cuff-based issues. You have to do some of that pulling to balance your body out, okay? All of these things are super, super important. But at the same time, using really fancy equipment or crazy exercises also doesn't make it from the standpoint that if you're doing crazy things, your likelihood of getting injured goes up. Your results don't go up, just the likelihood of getting injured goes up. And that means that takes you out of the workout game, which means that if you are starting to exercise, a lot of people doing it to keep their body in shape, to lose weight, whatever it might be. Well, if you get pushed out of the game, the weight's going to come back on. You're going to be less motivated. You're going to be upset at yourself, all these different types of things. Plus, when you injure yourself in your 40s, 50s, whatever it might be, it's a lot harder to come back from that injury and not have it be nagging for the next, year or 2 years, whatever it might be, because tissue repair is a little bit different. And sometimes you're just not in good a shape as you used to be. And maybe you're not eating as well, maybe not sleeping as well. And so you have to prepare and take care of your body now for the long term, for the long run. Don't get injured. You start to feel something coming on, go for a massage. Go to a chiropractor that knows active release technique or something like that to help, really work out those muscles. So just understand this. You don't always need to increase your level of complexity. You don't need to kill yourself in every single workout. Every workout is not supposed to be, the best, greatest workout in the entire world. It should be a great workout, and you absolutely can be a personal best from the week before, but that's because you're switching your workouts up every 4 weeks or so. So all of that's just really, really important. And just to give you a couple concrete examples right now. So let's say you're doing a chest press, so with dumbbells, and you're lying on your back, and let's say you're doing it on a ball. Okay, so that's a perfectly acceptable exercise. So when you're doing that ball chest press, what's happening is you're in a bridge position, your feet are on the floor, your head and shoulders are on the ball, the dumbbells are by your chest, and you're pressing them above you. So great exercise, nothing wrong with that at all. It works on the glutes, it works on the lower back, the obliques, it's working your chest muscles, obviously, a little bit of triceps. Great exercise, okay? But putting then your feet on two medicine balls, which I've seen people to do in the same exercise, creates a lot of instability, and the likelihood that you could fall off to the left or the right is very high, but you're not going to get that much better. You're not going to get that much more out of it, if anything. Yes, you will make it a little bit more unstable, so you maybe have to work your glutes a little bit harder, keep them a little bit tighter, but for what? For a percentage, point and increase and improvement, like that's it. So things like that, which I don't think bring extra benefit, but kind of make the personal trainer seem like they're cool to their client, does not make you a better personal trainer, and it does not make your exercise more effective. That's the only point that I'm trying to get across today. I still want you to have fun with your exercises. I still want you to kind of invent great exercises, meaning like you can use things like the landmine and sandbags, and you can use things like the strongman log and cables and bands and Versa loops and all this great stuff. All that works. All that is great. I'm simply saying that you don't need to use 3 or 4 different pieces of equipment at once. You don't need to start doing crazy exercises for the sake of doing a crazy exercise. Always pick the exercise based on what it's going to do for your body. Is this going to strengthen my core? Is this going to strengthen my legs, my hamstrings, whatever it might be? And how does that stay in balance with the rest of the body? And then look at it like, okay, am I ready for this exercise, or is there a chance I could get injured doing this? Because if there's a chance you're going to get injured, if it's like a really crazy balance-based exercise, don't do it. It's just not worth it. So that's it. That's what I'm trying to get across today, is that for your best workouts, keep things simpler. Do your squats, your lunges, your step-ups, your Romanian deadlifts. For upper body, do your presses, your pulls, do your chops. All of that is great, great stuff. And yes, you can get very inventive and very creative with those exercises because those are the main ones. But the other ones that you're doing just for show, take those out of your workout immediately. All right, thanks everyone for tuning in to another Cabral Concept. Before you go, I wanted to share a personal story with you. The real reason I began to get well finally is because I figured out what was wrong with me. And that might seem pretty obvious, but I went from doctor to doctor for over 2 years before discovering at-home functional medicine lab testing. These are the labs that enabled me to finally figure out what was wrong with my hormones, blood sugar, electrolytes, and gut health. And once I knew what was wrong, I could then follow a proven plan in order to rebalance my body from the inside out. This is why I believe so strongly in functional medicine lab testing and why I've made it my mission to share these labs with the world. Now at equa.life, you can order an at-home lab test or lab bundle for you and your family and be able to complete it within the week. Plus, the EquaLife difference is that you're not left to try to read and figure out these labs on your own. We explain what your lab numbers mean, what they mean in the much bigger picture, and then how to go about rebalancing your body in order to heal. To see our full selection of lab tests or to set up a free lab selection call, To find out what labs may be best for you, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. And do remember, we ship these all over the world. To find out more and to set up your free lab selection call, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. That's EQUI.LIFE/labs.